Welcome back to the Switch Sports Golf Challenge Series. We're on day 2 of trying to make 10 eagles through the standard 18 holes of Nintendo Switch Sports Golf. It took me 21 days to get to 9, so we're pushing this challenge a little bit further. It's going to be a lot more difficult to pick up the 10th one. We're going to have to pick up some eagles early, so, tough crosswind on hole 1. We'll have to deal with it, though. So I always start in that sports selection page in the video, in the recording, so I get completely random conditions that I'm seeing for the first time when I play this. And we'll have to think real hard about what this second shot is going to do. So 9 miles an hour is like the second maximum level for crosswind here, and it's also a little bit in the face. So what exactly is this shot going to do? I'm going to aim it to about there. That feels about right. I'll use the 7-iron. Maybe a little under 3 dots of power. 2, 4, 5. Okay, so about 5 squares to the right, or to the left on the mini map of the green here. We're going to see if that gives it a good shot. The kick is going to go to the right. I don't think this is super downhill, so don't need to account for that a ton. Let's try that. Okay, that's the shot I wanted to hit. Oh, it's just not going to move to the right, though. So even though we saw some stronger winds, it just didn't quite move the way I wanted it to. And we end up, you know, just missing it by 3 feet on the left side. So we'll have to tap in an unfortunate birdie on hole 1. Not the easiest of conditions.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I wasn't talking to you. What did I say that triggered the device to do that? Oh man, 11 miles an hour. So maximum winds on hole 2. Not the easiest of directions to account for either. I think we'll have to hit it to about there. This is a little bit of a guess. The power is also kind of a guess. You never want to be guessing when you're hitting these shots, but that's the best I can do here. Okay, so just send an educated guess out there. We'll see if that looks like it's on a decent line. I think it is. If that straightens out and rolls out nicely. Oh, look at that. It'll fall. Okay, a nice hole-in-one through some maximum crosswind on hole 2. That one feels pretty good. It's not quite crosswind. There is more of a pure crosswind condition, but that hole is aligned diagonally with the wind direction. So it's weird, because you never quite see pure headwind or tailwind or pure crosswind. Ooh, okay, and this is an opportunity on hole 3. Okay, let's lock right back in. It's unfortunate to miss that first hole. You can't let that derail your round, because you can see conditions like this where it's more doable on the next couple. So we pick up an important one on hole 2. We'll see if we can pick up another one here. This green is going to be reachable, and it's going to be pretty important to reach this green because the chip is going to be difficult. If I put it close and don't make it, or, you know, leave it short. So let's hit a nice little fade. We should be able to sneak this under the tree, no problem. Let's try that out. I'm going to take a little bit of power off of it just to make sure I don't hit it too far into the green. I think that's in a pretty good direction. Oh, roll out, launch, and keep going, keep going. Oh, it just ends up a little bit short. So this is not going to be the easiest of chips. I don't think I can really backspin this one properly. So I'm going to have to aim this just a little to the right. The wind's going to push it a little left, and if I land it just short, hopefully it doesn't kick too far to the right, and we can make it. Probably want to land it about there. Let's try it out. Oh, get in the hole. Yes, all right. A tougher chip. Even though it was a shorter chip, I couldn't put the backspin on it. And so it makes it more difficult because the landing spot is a lot harder to hit. It kicks to the right, and you have to hole it out on the first try. You have to hole it out on the way by with the rollout. So, man, tough one there, but we make it, and that feels good. 2 eagles through 3. That's pretty nice. Let's move on to hole 4. And we're not going to see... This is not the best of conditions, I don't think. Now, how much is this shot going to move? I'm going to say That adjustment's pretty good. I think I'll still use the 3-iron, but take some off of it. So maybe to about there. And let's give that a shot. I think I like that. I feel pretty confident in that. It would be huge to pick this one up. Let's try to make it. Okay, that's the shot exactly that I wanted to hit. Is that going to be too much distance? I think it will be. Oh, it just is a little bit too far. I landed that in the perfect spot if it was a little bit shorter. And it does come in pretty hot, so it doesn't bite and spin the way I wanted it to with that tailwind. But just, I mean, a near miss. If I landed that slightly shorter, it could have had a chance. It wasn't going to take a lot. You know, there's that mound before the hole, and if it hits higher on the mound, it doesn't bounce forward as much. And I just hit it a little bit too far on the far side of that mound. So a tough one there. And we're going to see some weird crosswind. This is not going to be easy on hole 4 or 5 here. So we've got 2 through 4. Hole 5 is going to prove to be pretty difficult here. I have to really think about what I want to do. There's a very narrow gap that I have to try to avoid hitting that tree, avoid the rough, avoid the big, taller, round tree on the left side. I think this is about where I need to aim it.
Nice shot.
And I'm just hoping to get lucky and put it in that little gap between those 2 trees. It'll get there nicely. And now will it avoid that big tree? Oh, it bounced just to the left of it. Wow. So like I said, there's a bad miss on the right if you clip that big tree and it falls OB. There's a bad miss on the left if you hit behind that big pine tree in the fairway. And we just avoid both of them. So that crosswind is so, so difficult. And we managed to get by it. All right.
Nice.
Let's hit this one down there. As close to the green as we can. We should actually be able to use that little bump and run, which is nice. This ball isn't going to spend a ton of time in the air. Yeah, so 37 yards is going to allow us to aim it pretty precisely, I think. So if I go into the minimap grid, I can aim it in quite a bit more. So I think 40 yards is the threshold for being able to do that. And we can aim this more to the left pretty precisely. I think this adjustment may be pretty good. We'll use the 7-iron. And I'm thinking that looks pretty good. We can roll it up there. Maybe I'll do a little bit less on the adjustment. Maybe to about there. Let's try that out. This is going to be a tougher one to make, but it would be huge to get it. I like this adjustment. I think I like the shot. Let's try it out. Oh, that looks really good. Get up in there. Wow. Oh, it just rolls extremely far to the right. That one took a much stronger angle, I think, than I've really ever seen it take. And it just misses. I thought after that first bounce, it was looking pretty dead center, and then it just kicks a little more to the right.
Nice.
So a tougher shot there through some strong winds. I mean, second to maximum crosswind. We barely sneak it through the trouble on that drive. Put it up there nicely on the second shot. And the eagle just misses. And now what are we going to see? Okay, so we see some very similar winds. However, it's kind of helpful on hole 6. Because even though it's going to be as hard of a hole out as we can really see on any hole, that's just how hole 6 is. And we can take the trees completely out of play when the wind is in this direction. So it's actually kind of nice. It's going to be a hard hole out, for sure. But we can avoid the trees and just make it more of a standard hole than trying to sneak it around tree gaps. And, you know, this green is just impossible. But we'll have to try to give it a run. I'm going to aim it to about there. I think that's pretty good. Let's hit it with the proper power, maybe to about there. I think that's pretty good. Let's try it out.
Nice shot.
Okay, that's the shot that I wanted. That's on a great line. It's just a little too far to the right, though, and it's going to roll back and just not quite be there. So like I said, it's a really tough hole out. But with stronger winds in that direction, it's more doable. It still just takes a whole lot of luck. So we'll have to tap this up there with some speed to make that birdie. So hole 6, always going to be difficult. Don't pick it up today. We'll have to see what hole 7 has in store. We have 2 eagles on the front so far. I think we'll need to try to get some good conditions on 9 and maybe try to steal another one at some point. And oh man, these are not the conditions you want to see to try to do it. So some tougher wind on hole 7 here. Just going to hit this out there with a spoon. I think that's about the right play to just put it at the end of that fairway. Hopefully this doesn't roll too far. Oh, slow down, slow down. And it ends up being absolutely perfect. So that's the best I could do on that first shot. And now the second shot is just quite difficult. Some stronger wind pushing to the right, also a lot of it in the face. I think I'll have to hit this with plenty of extra power. Not too much, though. I don't want to hit this over the green, which I've done a couple times. Let's just try to give it a chance with about that much power.
Nice shot.
And see how that looks. Oh, it's going to be way too far right. That pushed it so far to the right. Fortunately, we'll clip the rough first, and it's not going to bounce super far. But that moved so far to the right for what was more so a diagonal wind. So, interesting there. We'll have a tougher little birdie putt from about 20, 25 feet or so. All right. Let's try to make this one. Keep this good score going. Hit it with plenty of power to get it there. Is that going to fall? It will. It hit the hole with some speed, but, you know, it falls. We'll move on to hole 8, see if we can steal one, see if we can get some nicer winds to at least put it close. And then we'll have to rely on hole 9. Ooh, these winds don't look nice. Not at all. What are these winds on the last part of this front 9 here? It's going to be difficult. We have to bounce it up there, I think, rather than trying to backspin it in. There's just no green behind it to work with the backspin. I don't exactly know where this needs to land. We'll have to get lucky. Let's try it out. If I can put that relatively close, it's going to feel good. That actually should take a pretty good kick, but I think it might just be a little too far. Yeah. So, I mean, I gave it a real chance. We put it to 10 feet, and it had a good run by the hole. It's just so difficult to hole out this pin with that impossible feeling wind. So let's try to sink this putt, tap it down there, and move on to hole 9 and see if we can pick up a nice one there. So we see some really tough wind conditions, 31 miles an hour diagonally and kind of in the face on 7 and 8, which is never ideal in order to try to score low. Are we going to see some really tough winds here again? Not super tough, but it's difficult. I mean, it's not necessarily easy. So I'm actually going to do the little play where I take something off of this drive. We'll hit it to about there.
Nice shot.
On the power meter, and we should be able, unless that goes a little too far. Is that going to be too far? I'm thinking we can still use that little 3-iron strategy to put it between that tree gap. We'll have to see, though. Actually, yeah, I think I can. Okay. So let's hit that. Aimed right about there. Full 3-iron.
Nice shot.
Should be able to get up and over no problem, and it does. And now this is by no means going to be an easy shot into this pin. We couldn't really use any of the nice strategies that I like to use, which would be, you know, putting it on the right rough if you don't have the line at the green, or getting to the green in 2 if you see some more preferable winds. But we see neither of those, and we'll have to hit a more standard third shot into here, which is never really easy. Let's hit it with about that much power. Right about there feels good. Let's try it out. Ooh, that felt a little underpowered. Is that going to take a proper kick and maybe get lucky? No, it's going to bite pretty hard and roll back down way to the bottom of that green. So this is now going to be a much more difficult putt. 40 feet up that hill, never easy. We'll see if we can sink it, though. Okay. It's going to move a good amount to the left. Got to put over 3 dots of power on it. Let's try that out. Oh, that looks good. It's just going to really tail to the left, though, so not the best run at this tougher hole 9 today. We just saw some brutal winds on some of the holes that we needed to at least have a chance on. So, I mean, hole 3 was going to be a difficult hole out. I mean, hole 9, I should say, was going to be a difficult hole out on the third shot. We have 2 eagles, and now we need to get 8 on the back, so just not good conditions on some of those holes towards the end of that front 9. Oh. And I'll red bar the first shot here, which is never ideal. I haven't done that in a little while, so I'll have to tone down how hard I'm hitting the drives. This should still be a makeable shot. It's going to kick a little more right, I think, than it typically would. Yeah, so I'm still going to aim this a decent amount left. Let's try that out. 9 iron to about there. Feels pretty good. Let's give it a run.
Nice shot.
I think that's a pretty good shot. If it gets there, hopefully it gets a nice kick and rolls and just misses on the left side. So it did get that little extra kick to the right. The wind may have just pushed that slightly too far to the left, though, just ever so slightly. But it's such a precise shot to try to hole out
Nice birdie.
some of these fairway shots through a little bit of wind. And it just misses. So now we need eagles on the rest of this back 9, which is not going to be easy. Are we going to see some nicer winds? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't quite look like it. Okay, so I actually think we had these similar conditions yesterday. And if I recall correctly, I ended up on the incorrect side of the hole. And it pushed it just a little too far to the right. So let's see. I think I need to aim this to about there. If I recall correctly, that's where it needs to be aimed. Let's hit this with the proper power to about there. Try it out. So hopefully that kicks... Oh, that's going to be way too far left, so I definitely misremembered. Not a good shot at that one. And the round ends, or the quest for 10 eagles ends on hole 11. So it feels a little too early for my liking to have this quest end.
Nice birdie.
We'll see how many we can get from here on out. If we can steal a whole bunch on the back, that would be nice. I mean, I have a pretty decent round going. I just didn't see the conditions that I needed on holes 7 through 9 to really even have a chance at any of them. We'll have, I mean, not my favorite conditions. You know, a little bit of tailwind is usually nice on every hole, really except 12, because it causes that spoon to just come in so hot. You can fly it over the green. The 3 iron is probably the play here. Got to take a little bit off of it. And we'll see if that works. So I'm going to aim this a little to the right. The wind should push it slightly left. Let's use the 3 iron. Take some off of it. Probably to about there. Give it a shot.
Nice shot.
Okay, I think that was the proper shot. That looks like it's on a pretty good line. If it kicks in the... Oh, it doesn't kick in the proper direction. That kicks to the left on the front of that green, which is very interesting.
Nice on.
Okay, so we'll have a 25-footer, but a very straightforward 25-footer for eagle here. So not much of a chance at the run at the albatross when I'm using that 3 iron. But I was just trying to put it close. Just kind of missed it. Let's hit this with the proper power. Make sure we get it there. It'll fall nicely for our 3rd eagle through 12. Let's try to pick up a whole bunch more on some of these more eagleable holes on the back. 13, sometimes doable depending on the winds, but the winds can be tough. What are we going to see here? Looks like we'll see some moderate winds, so not too bad. Let's aim this. Where to aim this? I'm going to say to about there. That feels about right. Maybe a little bit more. Let's try that. Give it a shot. Is that going to be the one that's on a good-looking line that should roll back and maybe fall? Oh, it'll just sneak inside the left edge. So a nice hole-in-one there. We pick up 2 in a row on 12 and 13. Let's see if we can keep that run rolling on 14. And see how close we can get. I mean, you know, the round is over for 10 eagles, but it's not over in terms of trying to do well. Ooh, and we'll see no wind. So a very, very interesting setup here on hole 14. Now, if we were to ever have a run at an albatross, this is really the opportunity.
Nice shot.
So let's send that out there. We should be able to hit that tree gap pretty nicely today. Just put it straight through there, no issues. And we can just aim this one straight at the cup. And if I hit it with the proper power, we have a chance. Okay. Let's club up to the 3 iron. I have to hit this with about that much power, I'd say. Let's try that. Give it a run. Is that going to be the shot? Hopefully that hits nicely and maybe... Oh, it just bites. Wow. Usually that glides to a stop on that pin.
Nice on.
So I underpower it by about 5 feet. I mean, it's not the easiest shot to just hole out automatically, but it's a little more doable with no wind. And I just miss it, so we'll have to putt this up that hill. We'll get it to sink, so that's 3 eagles in a row. We'll see if we can keep this run going. And let's see what 15 has in store. The conditions have not been the nicest in this round. Maybe they'll lighten up towards the end now that our chances are kind of done here. They don't necessarily. 20 miles an hour pushing to the left. Not the easiest.
Nice shot.
But I mean, hole 15 is pretty straightforward. We'll have a chance at it. It's going to be pure crosswind by the time we get up here. And let's see if we can steal one. Okay. Let's aim this out to about there. I think I'll still use the 9-iron and try to roll it back nicely. So let's aim it to about there. See if we can get that spin to bite nicely. And give this one a shot. I think I like that adjustment. Let's go with it.
Nice shot.
That felt pretty good. It's just going to be a little short, though. Interesting. And it doesn't bite super hard. It has that little trickle back that I go for quite often, and I often don't get it. But just tough to aim that one through that really strong crosswind. We'll have to tap that one up there for a birdie. So the run of eagles ends. We'll see what hole 16 has in store. Sometimes it's nicer, sometimes it's not. And the eagle's always going to be difficult to pick up on 16, kind of regardless of conditions. Ooh. Is this doable? Can we sneak this through there? I guess we're going to find out.
Nice shot.
Okay, it'll clip that first tree, it looks like, and it'll make it over that second tree. And you know, we'll have a shot. We end up in the bunker, because the wind pushes that so far. And this is not a bad run at it. It's not going to be easy by any means, but it's as good of a chance as we can really ask for. Let's try to make this one. The backspin strategy is going to be tough here, but we have to use it. Let's try that out. Oh, is that gonna... Of course, out of all of the, distance, out of all of the pixels that ball could go through, it just decides to smack the pin through that crosswind. I said in an earlier video, if there's any chance through some strong crosswind to hit a tree trunk or hit the pin on a close shot, you're probably going to hit it. So, tough break there, but we're 20 under through 16, so we have a run we have a chance at a nice score here. We don't see the nicest of conditions, though, so this one's going to be tough to even reach the green. Unless, of course, it launches. It can always launch and get up there. Is that going to happen? Yeah, it will launch, and it'll actually be fine. We'll have a fine putt. It's never easy when it launches, but if you're on the green, it's pretty straightforward. Just have to hit it the proper distance, not blast it over the hole like I did yesterday. This should move just a little to the right. And we can give it a chance. Probably have to hit it a little over 3 dots of power, if I had to guess. That felt pretty ideal. And it'll fall nicely for a birdie on 17. So, we got a good round going. I mean, 23 under through some tougher conditions would be a nice score. We'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eagles if I were to pick one up on 18. But we have to see what kind of winds we're dealing with. What kind of winds are we going to see here? It looks like they're going to be fine. All right. So a nice chance at eagle number 6 here.
Nice shot.
If I can just hit some straightforward shots. Now maybe we can give this a run at an albatross if I hit it with the proper power and the proper aim. But it's not going to be easy. Let's try it out though. I think I have to use the 3-iron. Yeah, for sure. Aim it just a little out to the left. That feels about right. Make sure we get it there. That power feels pretty good.
Nice shot.
Okay, I think I like that shot. Hopefully it takes a nice big first bounce, catches the top. Oh, it just ends up on the incorrect side of that slope. So if it hit the top of that third shelf, it had a chance to roll a little bit more, but we end up 4 feet short because it kind of clipped the upslope. So a very precise shot there, especially through some wind. Any sort of wind, even though it's 2 miles an hour, it's some wind. But we'll pick up the eagle, little tap in on hole 18 for eagle number 6. A pretty good round today, only one par. I said that that par was kind of going to haunt me on hole 9. Did I even say that? I don't even know. Never nice to have that single par on the scorecard when that putt or that shot wasn't too difficult. But we'll have 6 eagles, not a bad round at all. 23 under is a score that I take most of the time. Now, granted, it is easier to score a little lower in this single player mode than in online play, so that feels, pretty standard for online play. That would be, or standard for local play. That would be pretty good for online play for me. And we'll have to try again tomorrow. Thank you so much to everybody for continuing to watch this series. It's a lot of fun to make, and gonna try to get to 10 eagles soon and see if we can push those scores lower and lower. We'll see you tomorrow.